It's time for the world's heaviest peated whiskey, Bruichlotti's Octomore 13.1, 59.2% alcohol, coming at a staggering 137.3 ppms. But don't let that number scare you. Octomores are very elegant, very nuanced flavors. I cannot wait to talk about this whiskey. Let's waste no time, get right into it. Cheers. Well, like I said in the last video, it is fall, so you know we have to get some Islay reviews going in. Octomore 13.1. If you missed my last video, my 5 Isleys you have to have in fall, check it out here. Let's waste no time, get into this nose. I cannot wait. I love Octomore. Now, as I said in the last video, Octomore malts are very elegant. It's 137 ppms in here, but the nose does not tell that story. In fact, Port Charlotte 10 smells much smokier than this, so let's see what these notes are. It's 137 ppms, but I'm going to say that is such a subdued smoke. The first note that hit me was a citrusy honey, and that is amazing. Whatever Bruichlottis does in their distillation process, it's phenomenal. You will not know how peaty this thing is on the nose. It is such a soft smoke right now, which is crazy to think about. Okay, now I'm getting a little bit of that like Laphroaig meat there. I'd say maybe like a little salty bacon, some oak spice, maybe a little bit of like nutty almonds. The smoke, I swear to you, it's there, but it blends in so nicely that it's not sticking out. The way the Ardbeg and that Laphroaig, and in fact that Port Charlotte smell, it's really smoke forward. The smoke here is like on the bottom, and all the really good fruity, spicy meat notes just sit on top. The smoke is definitely there, but it's not overbearing. You would not know how powerfully peated this whiskey is based on the nose. So one last nosing. This really makes you want to just dive right in. I'm getting a little bit of like cinnamon nutmeggy, almost like a rye influenced whiskey here. This is all ex-bourbon barrels as well. So I'm going to give the nose right here a 4.5. Fantastic nose, really well balanced, really makes you want to drink the whiskey. So let's do just that, get right to the palate. Real quick, let's check the legs like we always do. Ooh, those are, let's say like a medium bodied, maybe a slightly viscous whiskey. Cannot wait to get this in the mouth. Let's see. Now see, the palate is much more smoke forward, and it's also 59.2%, so cask strength. And that's what I love about these Octomores. They're heavily peated, and they're also very high in the ABV, and that is what makes it a really nice fall whiskey. You're going to sip it slow, it's going to get really warm inside of you. Really, really smoke heavy there. Almost campfire-like with a little bit of honey on the back end there. The smoke immediately gets into the middle of your tongue. It's a very specific spot. It's the middle. Not the front, it's not the back. It like sits there right on the hump, and it digs, and it's like, hey, I'm gonna be here a while. And I'm like, thank you, I love you, Octomore. Thank you so much. Second sip. It's very crazy to say, but this is 5 years old. It always, to me, they always drink much more mature than that. And with the color and the flavor profile I have right now, I'm gonna call it pretty bright. It's very lemony, citrusy, it's very honey-like. There's a bunch of nice sweet tones going underneath. A little bit of vanilla, almost desserty. And it hides behind that smoke curtain, like you just pull the smoke curtain up and get a bunch of nice flavor notes behind that. I love this so much about Octomore. The way they orchestrate this flavor profile when they make this whiskey, it's almost unparalleled. That's why these things are limited edition and really hard to get a hold of, and they are expensive because of that. But I'm going to tell you, the experience in this bottle is worth every penny. I'm going to go to the third sip because it's just a very good whiskey. What can you say other than phenomenal? This is a 5 on the palate every day of the week. I love Octomore so much. And again, I'm gonna say it's gonna taste a little less peaty than an Ardbeg, a Laphroaig, or a Port Charlotte, because the way they craft this whiskey is just so superb. They figured out a way to make a super heavily peated whiskey, but not get rid of good flavor notes, make it just taste like smoke. See those really high IBU IPAs? It's almost just like you're chewing on a pine tree, just all the hops you put in there. With this, it's not the same. Super high peat, really good flavor profile. It's a 5 across the board. You're dang right for a palate. And the finish is a 5. How could it not be? If the palate's so good, this finish lasts forever. all the smoke, all the meat, all the oak spice, a little bit of vanilla on there, not a whole lot. It's really smoke intense on the finish, and that cask strength really helps it just sit in your mouth forever. So good, helps you just drink it much slower. I love it. 5 for the finish. Okay, so for the value, it's $240. Limited release. They're hard to find, but they're really freaking good. I bought it. I'm always going to buy an Octomore. I love the Islas. If you love Islas and you have the money, I think you should buy one. They're a treat, honest to God. Are they worth $240? I don't know. The market's weird. 14.3 is $330, so it's all based on you. I think what's in this bottle is absolutely worth $240, so I'm going to give the value a 4. I know it's a bit steep, but it's also limited release, but I don't want to give it a 5 because it is a little high. So I think 4 is pretty fair. Hey, 18.5 overall. This is a great whiskey, honestly. I love Bruichladdich. I love Octomores. I cannot wait to get my hands on a 14.3. This is a 13.1, and actually I want to get my hands on another 10 year because the 10 years are so much better. Very well orchestrated, very good whiskeys. They're really young, but you would never guess unless you read the label. So 18.5, great whiskey. The wife is not going to like it. We'll see what she says anyway. Okay, wife time. I think you've had 2 Octomores in the past, and I think you hated both of those. So give that a nose, and tell me how much you hate it. Now, you've smelled a bunch of smoked whiskeys in the past. Does that smell super, super smoky to you? Compared to the Ballachin we had last time. So less or more, you think?
A little more.
More? Okay.
Yeah.
Went this whole thing in my nose that it wasn't that peaty, but you know, that's just me. Alright, give it a sip. Let's see your terrible reaction. I know you're not going to like this. Ooh, that's bad. Okay. Well, that might be a short later. Who knows? Anyway, well, thank you for blessing us with your reactions as always. I know you guys at home like this. And if you liked it, give it a like. Not subscribed yet, consider doing so. And I'll see you guys next time.